Welcome back to week 7 of Valencia Marathon training. So we are well over halfway through the block now, so stay tuned to see how I recover from the Yorkshire Marathon the previous Sunday and how I get back into training with 6 weeks to go until Valencia. So really the first thing to mention here is of course Sunday and the marathon. So it will have obviously took quite a lot out of me. In previous marathons it does vary on how well I can bounce back and recover from them, and I found that it's depending on how I felt at the end of the marathon. So if I felt really good at the end of the marathon, I've been able to get off pretty lightly, my legs haven't ached too much, my body's been fine, and I'll be able to get back into training pretty soon. But on the occasions, a little bit like on Sunday, where I struggled from about 18-19 miles, there I was building up a bit of fatigue in the muscles and really pushed myself a little bit harder than I should have done. I have been feeling the effects of this with a DOMS delayed onset of muscle soreness on Monday and Tuesday of this week. So stairs have been a bit of a challenge, both up and even worse going down, and I've just been trying to really just keep on moving. I don't want to be sat around resting up all the time, because I found that the longer I'm sort of sat down and in one position for one time, I'll just seize up. So I want to keep my joints and my muscles moving and not really rush back into, at the other end, long mileage and back training again. So my method has been that I went out for a sort of 2 mile 20-minute run on Monday just to shake the legs out. It's a very relaxed recovery pace. It's about 9-minute miles in the end. So I just wanted to keep myself moving, and hopefully I can just build on this and keep moving and get back to training soon. So some of the other things that I'll be doing aside from changing my running this week to promote my recovery is to make sure that I'm prioritising my sleep, getting as much sleep as possible, a bit extra than normal, and to promote that recovery. And the other thing is nutrition, so it's making sure that I'm getting all them calories back in from that long run on Sunday, and making sure that they're quality calories as well, so focusing on the carbs and the protein to promote that recovery. I'd also just like to say thanks to you guys for the response on the latest Yorkshire Marathon video. So noticed quite a few people have subscribed to the channel, which is brilliant. I'm always liking to connect with like-minded runners, especially small running channels as well. So do let me know in the comments if you have joined through the Yorkshire Marathon video, possibly you've done it yourself. We'll have a good chat in the comments. It's been good to get to know, as I say, sort of smaller running YouTubers, especially locally, and especially who meet up and support at races. So quick shout out, it was good to see John and Dawn from Two Running Brooms at Yorkshire, and managed to sort of follow along to their channel and see their progress. So really that sense of community has been really positive and what I've been enjoying. So I'm back out again on Thursday evening now, so joining you at one of my favourite places to run actually, which is Albert Village Lake in the background, so up in Swadlincote. So it's usually a bit of a nicer sunset here, a bit cloudy tonight, but it would have been a good evening if the sun was out and that cloud cover wasn't on. So let's do a little recap of how I'm feeling this week and what the training is then going to look like. So we said on Monday night was just that 2 mile easy run. I was in bits on Monday and Tuesday, struggling to go downstairs and really suffering from the effects of a marathon. And Wednesday got a bit better, did just over 5 miles on Wednesday, and then tonight I'm looking to do about 6 miles, just nice and easy pace, just to keep my legs moving. And I'm not in any rush to get back to sessions at this point this week. So this week the main focus is on recovering, and I will look to try and get a little bit of a longer run in on Sunday so that I can get the routine of a weekend long run back. Typically after a marathon I tend to have bounced back by now, and at least I've got my legs back, sort of everything else in my body functioning right, and back to a little bit more normal training. But this time it's just been added in with picking up a cold just before the marathon. I think while my immune system was a bit lower, that down week I had just before the marathon, I then picked up that cold and not managed to shift it this week just yet. So once that does go, I will be sort of back flying again. That's the hope anyway. Back out on Sunday now, so glorious weather again today. What a morning to run on. Well, I've actually left it a bit later and it's sort of early afternoon, so with that extra hour in bed as well, feels like it's quite a late run today. So yeah, just a recap of how this week's been. It's been, as I said at the start of the week, the mission has just been to recover from that marathon the weekend at Yorkshire. So I feel like I've done that successfully, because going into today's run I felt pretty fresh, pretty normal again, and I have took it very sensibly from a 2 mile short run at 9-minute miles, and building it all the way up sort of 4 miles, a couple of 6 miles, and then I'm going to get closer to 10 miles today, so I'll be in a good place to go next week with normal training. So if I have a look now at where this sits me overall for the week, it's a pretty simple week. So this week has just been the 5 easy and recovery runs. So started out with those slower paced, shorter runs with more recovery. As I built later in the week, took more like a traditional easy run. So I've totaled just over 30 miles with these, which doesn't seem too bad. And I feel like I'm in a good place, as I said, to start back to a bit more of my usual structure next week. So the plan going forward, I'm now 5 weeks out from Valencia, so these 3 weeks are really key. These really should be my peak weeks of training, so I'm going to look at really getting those 3 quality long runs in. They're the main sessions to focus on. And if I can get something interval tempo based in a week, that would be a bonus, but I'm not going to stick rigidly to that Tuesday Thursday structure that I had in the first half of the block, just because I feel the freedom to choose to run how my body feels is more beneficial than sticking to that rigid structure, which I think probably played a part in me becoming a little bit too fatigued a couple of weeks ago, and could derail my training this close to the marathon. So fortunately that's a wrap for this week, a little bit shorter than the usual video, but like we said, we had that recovery easy week, and hopefully we'll get something a bit more exciting to feedback on next week. So I've actually got a couple of trips away to the Lake District and to Chester, so we'll take the GoPro with me and try and bring it on some different scenic runs out there. So thanks for watching. If you did enjoy the video, as always, hit that like button and do think about subscribing to be notified of weekly running content.